So I want to take a moment to address this comment here from Hex the Biker, which really cool name, by the way. In regards to me speaking in a previous video about how I believe it is important for all public figures who are toting themselves to be olorishas and educating the public, including myself, no different. I believe it is mandatory for me personally. I believe it is mandatory to have your lineage be revealed and readily accessible knowledge. So the comment is, some use the information to throw work from what I've seen, but I also feel it's suspicious because it's a good way to catch frauds on here. I really want to focus on the part where it says some use the information to throw work from what I've seen. Basically, some use the information of your lineage as a means of throwing brujeria. I'm going to use myself as an example. My name is Julio Rivera. I am an Olobatala, and my Ocha name is Efun Muyiwa. I was made by Ali Ochun Onilade from Philadelphia, who was made by Lucy Ramos Odomiwa, Kinkamache, who was made by Asuncion Serrano Batalao Saunco, who was made by Olga Morales Ochunfunke, who was made by Aurora Lamar Agayo Batola, who was made by Jose Urquiola Pata de Palo Eleguay Chubi, who was made by Luisa Silvestre Ochumigua, who was made by Nyabelen Gonzalez Apoto Ochunlaibo. My Ojubona's name is Joel Serrano Batalao Saunco, Oduwuji, and my Padrino de Odon, or Tio Bauriate, who shaved my head, is Lazarito Compagnoni Jr., Chango Obaekun, who was made by Lazaro Compagnoni Sr., and trained and taught by Lazaro Compagnoni Sr., Ochun Gere, Ibaye. So, with all that information that I just gave, that I've never kept secret, I've said it multiple times on my YouTube, my lineage, and all this, but I say it here on this public forum, publicly, all the names of my elders, the living and the dead. What of any of that information should I be fearful of anyone knowing for fear of brujeria? What does knowing who any of my elders are, living or dead, the lineage that I come from, what witchcraft is to come from anybody knowing any of those names or information? I believe that there is an unfounded paranoia of people being afraid of brujeria. To be honest, I think most of our daily issues that we deal with in life are brought on by our own poor decisions. I do not worry about brujeria. There's a wonderful quote by Willie Ramos. It's not an exact quote, but basically he said, if brujeria was so strong, then Fidel Castro would have never made it. He would have been dead a long time ago if brujeria was such a strong thing. And Fidel Castro, he lived to like 90-something years old. But specifically within the context, I'm not speaking about whether your relationship with your godparent was positive or negative, because yes, we all know that there are many young olorishas out here that yes, have been abandoned, that have strained relationships with the person that crowned them for a myriad of reasons. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying regardless of the relationship that you have or may have had with the person that crowned you, what is anyone knowing who crowned you and the lineage that you come from? Trapito, Aina Yogbo, Pimienta, Fuche, Arabia Oviedo, Egbado de Montserrate. How is any of that information pertinent to giving validity to the idea that someone can do witchcraft to you because they know your religious family lineage? I personally, I don't see it. I don't understand it. I believe that it is an unfounded fear that's gotten perpetuated. I can't let no one know my Ocha name. I can't let no one know who crowned me. I can't let no one know that I come from the Pimienta line. It doesn't make sense to me. There's someone that I know that, basically being as respectful as possible, a santero that is Ibaye. I was not told the name. I was like, yo, what's the Ocha name of this person, so I can include them in my Ibaye, to always acknowledge that person, because that person was always really kind to me, and unfortunately I didn't get to see them in their last moments. It would have been nice to see them. I was not given the name. Why? For fear of witchcraft. For fear, if the world knows this person's Ocha name, then what? People are going to do witchcraft to the person's spirit after they're dead. Even, someone like my own uncle, Ibaye. I don't know his Ocha name. Now, in that case, it wasn't because of fear of witchcraft, but I never asked him what it was. But there's people out here that are like, I don't want no one to know my Ocha name. I don't want no one to know who crowned me. I don't want no one to know anything of my lineage. And I'm leaving it at that. So when you're dead, no one's gonna know shit. I'll tell you what, when I'm dead and I'm 6 feet under, which I hope is 100 years from now, I hope that there's people that are saying, yo, when they mention children of Obatala, they go, yo, Ibaye Layento Nu, Julio Rivera, El Conquistador, Efumuyiwa. Why? Because I want to be remembered, and I have zero shame and zero reservations and zero fear about stating at any and all times when asked, oh, so who crowned you? Ali Ochoni Lade, and I come from the lineage of Trapito. And the one that shaved my head is Lacerito Obayekun, and my Ojubona is Joel Oduwoji. What's the issue? I say it proudly and declare it so, because it's these things can't be changed. Once you're crowned, you're crowned. Whatever background history you may or may not have with your elder is irrelevant. Once you're crowned, you're crowned. So, for me, the idea of keeping within the context of this video, oh no, people, I have to worry that people are going to do witchcraft to me because now you know the names of my elders. Now you know my Ocha name. Well, I hope you know my damn Ocha name, so when I'm dead and gone, you could say, Ibaye El Conquistador Efumuyiwa. And the most important names that you should be remembering for your Ibaye, yes, are your direct lineage. But how many times do we hear people like Fermina Gomez being brought up, Latuan being brought up, Polo, which is short for Apolinar Gonzalez Ochaweye, Puntia Obatilemi. And people will say, Ibaye Puntia, even if he wasn't a part of your lineage, but because he made such an impact on a person's life, and he was such a famous man, people mention Fermina Gomez and Puntia and Polo. I hope that people are doing the same thing for me when I'm dead and gone, and they go, yo, Ibaye, El Conquistador, Efumuyiwa. The same way, I mention La Lupe, Ocanto Mi, a child of Ochun. I mentioned Tito Puente, Baba Funke, a child of Obatala. And, the myriad of other names that exist. Olga Guillot, I think her name was Okanekun, the heart of the leopard, or Obayekun, something like that. There's nothing wrong with mentioning those people. So, now I'm just going off on a rant. But I hope when I'm dead and gone, please, anybody and everybody, if I've positively impacted your life, mention El Conquistador Efumuyiwa, and do so with pride and positive remembrance of me. And I have zero issue mentioning these are my religious roots. This is my religious family. And I'm very proud of where I come from, and I have no reason to be hiding where I come from religiously out of fear for brujeria. That doesn't make no sense to me. What am I supposed to be afraid of? These are my family. This is my roots. Regardless of what happened in the past, this is where I am. Yo soy Efumuyiwa de Rama Trapito y ya. Okay, Keoloro Nagbayo.